In this unshackled world animated by constant beefs, Hasan is hated by both the right and the center. He's a demigod and a demon, a crusader for good and a parasite on society, an empathetic hero, and a so-called sympathizer. As political experts sound alarms about authoritarianism, he's fighting back, one expletive and brain rot filled live stream at a time. We are at a spot right now where left media is like really looking for their propaganda. Democrats and the left lost young men pretty hard. So instead of promising them trade jobs, maybe make them free for people who finish the schooling, what if instead we go, oh, this guy, Hasan Piker, he's very masculine. But I'm telling you, a year from now, it's going to be a catastrophe. He doesn't really seem to know how to actually engage in a way that would hold to his beliefs and his values. I think he wants to try to exist in the chaos of what he thinks is a fallen Western society, because I think despite the fact that he benefits drastically from the West, he likes to pretend that he hates it. I really think it's going to backfire. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. All right. So I want to read this. You know, I think it's a couple days old, but I'm curious about it. Why not? Something fun to do. Something a little silly. Hasan Piker thinks America might be cooked. I also want to watch this internet you know, whatever internet versus video, because he got some bangers. I would recommend following him along. Hasan Piker thinks America might be cooked. All right, hey, if only women would start cooking more and stay in the kitchen. Am I right? Am I right, other red pill friends? What? Martial law canceled elections. The combative leftist streamer Hasan Piker predicts an ominous possible future for the U.S. He's fighting back the only way he knows how, by raging against Trump, Israel, Democrats, and the wannabe bad boys of the manosphere. In between beefs with his ops and gym sessions with the boys. Woo! I think it's beautiful. It's so interesting because Hasan is an interesting character. But, you know, we are at a spot right now where I think that people on the left, like left media, is like really looking for their propaganda. And I say like because they lost young men pretty hard. Democrats and the left lost young men pretty hard. And instead of doing the right thing and being like, hey, what if we think about how to get them jobs? What? How can we do that? Oh, trade jobs. We're going to be 500,000 short electrician jobs by 2027. What if we focus on that? No, we got to go with this guy. So instead of promising them trade jobs, maybe make them free for people who finish the schooling, maybe even pay people more money to move to another state to, you know, satisfy a desperately needed trade job. Instead of doing something like that, what if instead we go, oh, this guy, Hasan Piker, he's very masculine. And he is very masculine looking. But I'm telling you, a year from now, it's gonna like really, it's gonna be a catastrophe. It really is gonna be a catastrophe. If you look more closely at Hasan outside of just like clips and TikTok and stuff, you see what kind of an asshole he is. You know, he's not a particularly good person. I mean, if you watch him closely, he will complain a lot about people who will engage in like the BDS list. That's the list you're not supposed to eat or purchase these goods or services or whatever, because the money goes to Israel. Well, what does he do? He's constantly drinking sodas off of it. It seems like so small, but he can't even adhere to that. You know, Twitch is on the BDS list. I think Google is too. But instead of figuring out a way to try to funnel people from those platforms, which he could do, he can make his own independent site and stream on that site just for himself. I'm not talking about a whole network. People do it successfully. Instead of doing that and trying to, and still streaming on Twitch and still streaming on YouTube, or actually streaming on YouTube and funneling people, he can't do that, right? He doesn't really seem to know how to actually engage in a way that would hold to his beliefs and his values. You know, most of it just seems to be West bad. That's why he's not a very, you know, he says he doesn't take sides so much on, you know, Ukraine and Russia. He's more of like, oh, I don't care. Like, he's very lackadaisical. I don't know. It's just, I think it's going to backfire, man. I really think it's going to backfire. He still swears that Kamala Harris will be just as bad for Gaza as Trump, even though Trump's he's talking about building fucking hotels. Remember that AI shit? You guys forgot that AI shit that he had? AI video Trump Gaza? That's fucking crazy. I don't think Kamala would have done that. So, like, yeah, he's just kind of a scumbag. And he has a really good friend that he pushes a lot that likes to dox people, who talks about how people in America should have voted Trump to escalate the downfall of Western society. And I think that's really what Hasan does. I think he wants to try to exist in the chaos of what he thinks is a fallen Western society, because I think despite the fact that he benefits drastically from the West by wearing $10,000 on his body at all times, he likes to pretend that he hates it. So I think that's what it is. But whatever, man. You guys keep going with your strategy. Here's how Hasan Piker starts every day. Working out. Shooting the shit. He's on steroids and he looks like that. Damn. Where's he shooting? Into his balls? It's Monday at 8:30 a.m., and we're in the backyard of a house in West Hollywood where there's makeshift private gym with benches, pull-down machines, and dumbbells galore. This is where 34-year-old political influencer keeps his thirsted after body fit. Who wrote this article? Oh, it was a fucking woman. Wait, that's a dude. What the fuck? Wow, that's a gay man. Hey, God bless. Anyway, that guy's horny as fuck. All right. Joined by a few other neighborhood characters, including a guy who works at Pod Save America. Wow. His Bernice Beefcake Kaya tussles with a few other golden brown dogs. What the fuck? Oh, right, he has a dog. As Parker burns through his 70-minute workout, exhausting himself in the process, he strips his shirt off. An army of girls and gays, not to mention admiring looks-maxers like the Rizzler, would kill to be where I am now, next to Parker, as he pants in a pair of neon shorts with black Calvin Klein boxers poking out and sunlight glinting off the sweat beaded on his chest hairs. Parker trains okay, Jesus Christ, I can't read. Parker's trainers fibbed to me about how much he presses 300 pounds before the real number comes out. 175. His personal best, 285. But no one's ever seen it. The conversation among the 7 men and women grows increasingly unhinged. Jokes about semen retention exercises morphing into a discussion about how where'd it go? About which Hollywood plastic surgeon is least likely to kill you. The new meta is ballerina cups. Women only going for A to B to C cup max. I don't know what those are. I think that's period cups. You piss blood into them and then you dump them. I take shots of them. It's easy, but protein. Parker muses at one point. Meta is a gamer-derived term from the state of the art. Nick Fuentes is gay. We got him. He says at another, echoing a common attack on the far-right streamer. He definitely likes catboy porn, he has, referring to an infamous incident on one of Fuentes' streams, which we will not detail here. Groans, gossip, and athletic guidance fly from all angles. Good. Get taller. What? Oh, good, Hasan. Get taller. I don't know that. Face down, ass up. Towards the end, what the hell is he doing? Having gay sex? Towards the end, Parker starts describing how a chicken wrap he's been loving recently and is very fibrous and bottom friendly. Oh, right. Yeah, get some roughage in there, guys. Leading another gym goer to tease him about his diet. Have I been having anal sex? No, Piker responds. I've always had nice poops. Oh, he did the meme. Hasan did the meme about how getting fucked in the ass makes it easy to shit. Just to be clear here. Everybody gave Ethan Klein a bunch of shit. I mean, people gave Ethan Klein more of it because he kept kind of harassing that one gay guy about whether he liked him in the butt or not. But Hasan is saying that getting fucked in the ass makes your poops loose, which, by the way, is valid. I think that's true. Here's Hasan here. He looks so beautiful. He's such a sexy man. This ad was removed. Somebody was just jacking off to Hasan. What an ad. Parker has no filter. That's one of the reasons he's the hottest left-wing political commentator online. His management team consists of a single guy named David. So he basically has no leash and answers to no one. I guess David's kind of a cuck. Every day, tens of thousands of people watch him dissect the news for 7 hours on Twitch. A typical stream involves him scrolling frenetically while clicking on links sent by fans in his chat, reacting to the latest viral clips and headlines. Wow, that doesn't sound like he's just talking. Okay, isn't that just breaking news? Isn't that a problem? Whatever. Dishing with his viewers and viciously sparring with haters. You mean just people who sit in his chat? It's not really... Whatever. America deserved 9/11 is one of his most infamous, wisecracks. Dude, I cannot fucking read today. When Rush Limbaugh died, Parker played a clip of a dancing crab in celebration and vigorously bounced around his room. Parker's one of a new breed of streamers, like Aiden Ross and Sneeko, who are shaping the worldview of kids who never watch MSNBC or read the New York Times. In this online mirror world, Parker is the himbo gateway drug. He's really trying to push that, huh? Including introducing a legion of kids to progressive ideas like Medicare for all. Whoa, Hasan Parker loves kids. Great article. And then there's Gaza. Young people across America are calling out what they see as Democratic politicians' complicity in a U.S.-backed war that is more and more widely being called a genocide. This is funny. This article can't even call it a genocide. This article, so they write things in a way where they can't get fucked. I guarantee you the editor was like, yeah, we're going to say it's a U.S.-backed war, because like I guess it is legally, and we're going to say people are calling it a genocide because they feel like they can't legally say it's a genocide. As Palestinian Star, Republican support for the war has been taken as a given, although MAGA Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has broken rank. Whoa. Parker has opposed Israel's offensive since the start. It's the online arena where the most progressive, but also most right-wing ideologies are taking hold now. And this, just to be clear, the right-wing ideologies hate Israel too. What the fuck? In this unshackled world animated by constant beefs, Hasan is hated by both the right and the center. He's a demigod and a demon, a crusader for good and a parasite on society, an empathetic hero, and a so-called terrorist sympathizer. He claims the FBI might be surveilling him. Haters say they want him dead. As political experts sound alarms about authoritarianism, he's fighting back. One expletive and brain rot-filled live stream at a time. Wow. Guys, this guy sounds really awesome. After the gym sessions, Parker, Kaya, and I load back into his black Mercedes-Benz and drive to his place, a large townhouse with a Suzuki motorcycle in front and a slender pool in the back. Parker dips for a second to freshen up, leaving me to explore the house. Fan art litters the walls, and TV, hats, Trump Pence 2020, Jesus is my boss, Korea veteran, and Zinn containers are scattered all around. A set of shelves contain a slew of books, including Noam Chomsky's Profit Over People, Neoliberalism, and Global Order, completely untouched. Tony, I don't fucking know how to say that, Incel, Epic, Rejection, and numerous volumes of Marvel, Naruto, and Death Note, manga and comics. Noticeably, no Bleach comics or mangas. He isn't beating the socialist who owns commodities allegations, but his house feels more like a product of a nerd who would write anime, swords, and free public transportation. In his Hinge bio, then it does someone obsessed with luxury excess. Parker suggests we chill in his studio, which is even more chaotically cluttered than the rest of the house. There's a shelf stacked with rare World of Warcraft collectibles, a basketball, and a vinyl record of a rapper. Osmosis Jones. I don't know how to say that. It's incredible. This is incredible. There's also a swastika sword. One corner contains a colossal Labubu doll encased in plastic behind it. There's a cutout of Bernie Sanders' classic diva pose at the inauguration and a poster of Barack Obama with Elizabeth Queen II. Cameras and mics flank an intricate recording setup that could pass for the bank of security devices at the Westfield Mall. Parker, who's put on a black merch t-shirt for the streamer Valkyrie, sits across from me and slurps an iced coffee. Sounds like a respectful guy. As we talk, I sense that Parker wanted to hold the interview here so he could keep an eye on his screens. His stream doesn't start for an hour, but the chat's buzzing with fans impatiently waiting for him to log on. He's remarkably energized for a guy who just finished a punishing workout and spends the previous day playing basketball with influencer Ludwig, some kind of white last name, and other friends. His team lost the first game but came in clutch later on. I had to show these nerds what's up, he says with a laugh. It's incredible. By the way, for anyone looking to get buff and clutch games like him, here's Parker's supplement stack. 1 espresso shot. That's a pre-workout. 4 creatine pills. Make sure you drink lots of water. Fish oil. He doesn't eat seafood. It's good for your bones. Zinc. Ashwagandha. Some other stuff I can't pronounce. A 1 a day would also help you guys. Parker grew up in Turkey, developing his leftist worldview against the backdrop of prime minister and eventual president, some kind of name. A lot of it, and his regime. He moved to America rushed by as a frat. I thought he said rushed by farts. It's incredible. Rushed a frat at Rutgers University to impress girls, and Nepo babied himself into working for his uncle, Cenk Uygur. Wow, they called him out for being a Nepo baby. God bless. Who owned the left-wing news network, The Young Turks. Parker went full-time streaming in 2020 and has since become the most popular political creator on Twitch with over 2.9 million followers. I think, isn't Hasman called that person at this point? I don't know. Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and numerous other celebrities have hopped on his stream. His work ethic is terrifying. In 2020, he claims to have spent 42% of his time on camera, more than 10 hours a day. I'm an addict, he says. I've been an addict my whole life. So everything I do, I get addicted. Twitch streaming, working out, eating healthy. Can we just talk about how this is not a hard job? You sit on the fucking camera all day. But okay. It is a hard job, guys, because I'm always hard. My penis is what I'm referring to, of course. Parker describes his career as a protracted and so far largely unsuccessful effort to pull the Democrats to be more radical, to be actually progressive. While he's beloved by many leftists, he often reviled by liberals, the centrist whose views are largely reflected by the party leadership. He's pretty much hated by everybody that's not fucking insane, even on the left, just to be clear. This became especially clear after October 7th, Hamas's attack on Israel. You have a guy like me, name is Hasan, and I'm saying, no, you don't understand. Israel's still very much responsible, partly for October 7th, for like 75 years of brutal occupation and apartheid. And people are like, oh, you're a terrorist, and that really hasn't gone away. That's not exactly the case. He advocates for terrorists constantly. But guys, we're retelling history. By the way, Hasan, did Israel start occupying that land? Oh, it was given to them because they were genocided in World War II. Fuck, I forgot about that part. We forgot to add that. We always forget that part when we're talking about Israel, not to justify what they're doing in Gaza, but it's a little context. Doesn't matter. Last year, Democrats first invited him and then ejected him from the Democratic National Convention after he interviewed some delegates who were part of the undecided group protesting Israel's war in Gaza. I just eat from both ends, and that's the issue, he says. You're getting hate from the far right, and you're getting it from liberals and the centrists and the institutions. So you just have nothing. You only have your community. You only have your grassroots backing. Wow. Well, at least the guy in the article said that he was a Nepo baby, because there's definitely not a grassroots anything, but okay. But in recent weeks, with videos of starving Palestinian children flooding social media, more Democrats are speaking out about the war. Parker won't give them credit for that just yet. I'm used to Democrats operating in this incredibly cynical way, he says, so I'm not surprised by this about face, if you can even call it that. Many people aren't even doing an about face. They're mostly just ass covering. Parker is also quick to call out his peers in the manosphere. Peers in the okay, saying that social media has purified into a hate-filled hellscape worse than the subculture that gave rise to Gamergate. The coordinated misogynistic attack on women in the video game. He doesn't talk about any of these misogynistic people ever anymore. Like, I don't care that he does it. I'm just saying he's mostly focused his time pulling people on a stream to complain about Ethan Klein. But okay. Let's see. The coordinated misogynistic attack on women in the video game world that was an ignorant ignition point for the modern reactionary right. This rage chamber is thronged by far-right figures like Andrew Tate, white supremacists like Nick Fuentes, and outwardly apolitical podcasters and streamers like the Nelk and Aiden Ross, who fawningly interviewed Trump ahead of the 2024 election. Wow. I call it vice signaling. These guys, whether they're real villains or not, are presenting themselves as bad people, and people like it, Parker says. Nobody likes cancel culture, but goddamn, that shit kept motherfuckers in check. Incredible. Of course, Parker himself is an edgelord too, eager to breach taboos just on behalf of progressivism. For example, he proposes Nuremberg-style trials for those in the media who he sees as taking part in a propaganda apparatus for the state. He says he told the Nelk boys straight up that they should be tried. I'm tired of fucking reading this already, I'll tell you that. But Parker continues, there are far more consequential, far more noteworthy figures that deserve to be put on trial than like the fucking Nelk boys. Specifically, he says New York Times columnist Bret Stephens. Parker may be the product of an often irony-poisoned online space, but his defense of the Palestinians is pure and deeply felt, as it is among large swaths of Gen Z. Wow. Can we really, like, I really think we need to reinforce the idea that, like, Hasan Parker wants children to die in Gaza. We have to stop pretending that he cares about children in Gaza. All the stuff aside where he constantly consumes shit on the BDS list and, like, drinks it live instead of, like, at least hiding it and all this other stuff. That doesn't matter. This motherfucker still to this day insists that Kamala Harris would have been just as bad as Trump in Gaza. That's an insane idiot thing to say, especially after we got our fucking AI video of Trump talking about how he wants to put hotels in Gaza. That's fucking crazy. And he said that before the election, and he absolutely did not push Kamala to win. And frankly, all those young people in his audience, he could have mobilized to vote for Kamala Harris, and it would have been better for Gaza. Would have been perfect? No. But he doesn't care. He wants these children to die. Why? Because he got a huge view bump once he started talking about, once everything happened after October 7th. He got a pretty big bump. That was big for him. He's been able to milk that constantly. So, like, understand, like, Hasan doesn't care about these kids. It's terrible, but he doesn't care about kids dying in Gaza. He wants to keep the effort going. If he wanted to try to help, he would have heavily pushed for Kamala Harris to win publicly, very aggressively. But he doesn't. And again, to this day, he says it would have been the same thing. And he's trying to convince his audience that that's true, but we know it's not true. We know that that's not true whatsoever. And if you think it's true, you're a fucking idiot. Okay? So he was incensed when Stevens recently wrote that there is no genocide being committed by Israel. I don't even know who this is. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't think it matters if it's legally considered a genocide or not. It's obviously fucking disgusting. Literally, literally 3 days after, like a Jewish Israeli Holocaust scholar wrote a New York Times editorial saying it's definitely genocide. Parker says. Brett Stevens came in hot and was like, no, actually, listen to me instead. On July 15th, Dr. Omar Bartov, a professor of Holocaust and Genocide Studies at Brown University, wrote a Times opinions piece headlined, I'm a genocide scholar. I know it when I see it. That's beautiful. A Stevens column, no, Israel's not committing a genocide in Gaza, followed 1 week later. Parker may see mainstream media as propaganda, but he blames prominent online figures for actively suppressing criticism. He says many creators keep silent to avoid a retribution. They're fearful of the mass doxing and hate raids they'll incur from someone at the top of the creators in the space right now. It is very easy to say that you support Gaza right now for the past 2 years. I don't know what you're talking about. Parker is, for that reason, paranoid, and justifiably so, sinking back into his chair in his $3 million house surrounded in security guards. He says that years ago, during a live stream, he was swatted. Someone had anonymously sent a SWAT team to his house. He was arrested, handcuffed, and a gun pulled on me. Helicopters, he recalls. I heard someone outside, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's dudes with AR-15s going. Get the fuck out. Parker, it was widely reported, was also recently detained by Border Control when he returned to America from France because he tried to go through the express line at the airport and he hadn't actually applied correctly. He says he was interrogated about his politics, especially as they relate to President Trump and Gaza, all of which is verifiably incorrect. The incident led him to cancel a trip to Cuba, fearing that it could be used as an example of him visiting a state sponsor of terror. He's certain he's being surveilled, by government entities. I've had brushes with federal law enforcement, mostly around the death threats that I receive, Parker says. But in those conversations, they elaborate further that they're very knowledgeable about who I am and what I do. Is it the FBI? I cannot confirm nor deny, he deters. Whoa, now that's orgasming cum. He has very small legs, by the way. While he's unfiltered and earnest while streaming, the most earnest, Parker has managed to keep his off-stream activity secret, refusing to air out his private life with friends or paramours the way that many of his peers do. It's because he has no social life. So when I first arrived at his home in the morning, I was surprised to find his mom, Ulcer, an art scholar, and also a landlord back in Turkey, just chilling in the living room. She complimented me on my shirt and asked what it referenced. When I told her Drain Gang, the experimental Swedish music collective, Parker went into hysterics. It's incredible. My mom's on political asylum, she said. I've committed war crimes back in Turkey. That's really in there. Just kidding. During our interview, I try to squeeze out whatever intel I can about Parker's romantic life, which is feverishly gossiped about on Reddit. I asked point blank if he's dating Valkyrie, the massively popular gaming streamer, and he looks freaked out. Oh, come on, please. Don't put that in the article, Parker says. I just want to keep certain things private. I don't want to even fuel speculations. Think of me as an asexual being. He plans on settling down eventually, shielding his family from the noise generated by his fame as much as possible. It's definitely something I want. I would just keep it private. I would keep my child, potentially, if I were to have one, offline. Thankfully, he won't. The desire to safeguard his inner sanctum makes sense given how many influencer overlords have Parker in their crosshairs. Maybe his most deranged beef this year was with Ethan Klein, the popular creator and former co-host of their old joint podcast Leftovers. The feud started over Gaza, both called a genocide, but Klein has called Parker a terrorist sympathizer, and Parker in return has called Ethan Klein racist. The spat spiraled into online mayhem, sucking everyone into these creators' orbit into a vortex of toxicity. Klein, we'll call you a token Jew after this interview comes out, Parker warned me. I did pay you $7 million to do this interview. Oh, $7 million. That's crazy. $6 million, more like $200,000. Am I right, guys? $7 million, more like $220,000. Am I right, guys? We're talking about money, obviously. Also, I'm not JQing. I'm fucking ethnically, Some have accused Klein of having a psychosexual obsession with Parker. He talks about my body and the way I look a lot, Parker says. I don't know why. Maybe it's low-hanging fruit for him. He was always a funny guy. He was never a big looker or anything. It wasn't part of his brand, so I never thought he cared about that sort of thing. But maybe after he lost the weight, his personality changed a bit. I genuinely don't know. Last time I talked to Ethan, he was fat. I mean, he still had his issues, but at least he was seemingly more empathetic. I remember back in the day after the Leftovers podcast would end, we'd get off, all sweaty and swollen after a long day's work of making fun of Tim Pool and his bald head. I'd sit close to him, testing the waters, seeing if he would reciprocate. It was closer to COVID, so it wasn't quite something he was comfortable with, but I pushed boundaries slightly. Eventually he'd come around, maybe after a month or two. I remember the day. Ethan Klein left early. She decided that she needed to go back and do some work for Teddy Fresh. Back then I liked their clothes a lot, but now I just call it kids' clothes. I remember accidentally, quote unquote, touching his pinky with mine. I breathed out. It was one of the most exhilarating feelings I've ever felt in my life. Ethan, though, did not shy away. I expected him to, though. He embraced my pinky in his. Since that moment on, we got closer and closer and closer after Leftovers episodes. It was quite beautiful. I remember one time I fully touched his middle finger knuckle with my pinky. Sparks flew inside my pants. I saw Ethan. I looked over. A small chub, but there was something so incredible about it. I loved it a lot. I could tell it was fat, even if it wasn't too long. I reached over onto his pants and put my hand there. He looked down at my hand at first, too afraid to look me in the eyes. But I stared at his face the whole time, waiting for him to lock with me, but he never could. He pulled out his phone. There was a text message from Ethan Klein, his wife. I instantly retracted because I knew, despite the feelings we have for each other, he could never betray his wife. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that that was in... Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that that was all inside of the GQ article? Isn't that fucking insane that that was legitimately in the GQ article that we're reading? It's fucking crazy. I can't believe it myself, personally. I'm fucking flabbergasted. Okay. The Klein fight reveals just how insular and incestuous the world of streaming is. These beefs and online personae are the substrate from which Parker, the streamer, and person springs. He texts with AOC sometimes, sure, but his close friends aren't campaign strategists and professional politicians. They're the creators he plays basketball with, like Ludwig, Buddha, and video game speedrunners like Point Crow, and the influencers who co-host his podcast, Cutie Cinderella, Will Neff, and Austin Show. You could visualize the streaming world as a series of lunch tables or loose cluster of collaborators like the AMP Collective and the FaZe Clan. This world of influencers is its own Hollywood, with a distinct cast of A-listers and cult faves. Parker recently attended creator Tara Tummy Yummy birthday party at the Roosevelt Hotel, a weird collision between old and new school celebrity where FaZe adept and Jason the Ween sided up next to Miranda Sings and Love Island contestant. Who's Miranda Sings? Isn't that Colleen Ballinger? Oh my god. She was there? I thought she was gone. Huh. I'm surprised. Good for her. Indie Sleaze documenter Cobra Snake shot the photos. I don't know who these people are. In LA, Parker likes to hang out with the Roomies, a gamer lifestyle streamer house run by people like Valkyrie, Fusly, and Tina Kitten. When he's in New York, he socialized with professional media world friends like Adam Freeland and the other cheeky stars of leftist podcasts Chapo, Trap House, and True Anon. Parker's thoughts are so frantic I can't help but probe him on anyone and everything, like whacking a pinata to see what falls out. He denigrates Asmongold and Contrapoids, praises I Showed Speed and Joshua something, says that the fact that I watched the surrealist YouTuber J-Reg means I'm fried. I test him on a scatter spray of media heroes and villains. Curtis Yarvin. I don't know who the fuck these people are. Is this the dog? It's a cute dog. And Peter Thiel, baby-brained LARPing as educated people. Who's Peter Thiel? Yeah, I don't know if I care. Do we care who Peter Thiel is? Chat. Who the fuck is Peter Thiel? I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Even William F. Buckley, who would make mincemeat of these guys. On one of these of his 3 desktop computers, he pulls up a long-winded X thread in which Yarvin called billionaires a censored version of the N-word. Wow, that's incredible. He didn't actually say the N-word, which is kind of funny because I thought the point of wanting to kill cancel culture was so you could use the N-word as a white guy. He tells rich people that they're fucking gods, and rich people love hearing that from a guy who's maybe read one ninja book. It was a Netsky book or something. Red Scares, Dasha, last name, and Anna also last name. I don't think about them at all, but they're annoying. Kind of dumb. I don't like that they like I don't think they like me too much because I'm progressive and not a shithead. Incredible. Zorhan Mamdani, Big Z. That's, you can't call him Big Z. The real Big Z, okay, is Zavikas. Strongman. Incredible. Big Z's the man. He's great. He's going to implement woke Sharia in New York. Very excited about that. All the buildings have to face Mecca. That kind of good stuff. That's his idea of a joke. Very silly. Drain Gang. I can't believe you told my mom that. Woo! One of the main things people criticize Parker for, besides the whole champagne socialist thing, which is overblown, this is his opinion, of course, is taking criticism poorly. Parker acknowledges that this while also criticizing the criticisms of how he takes criticism. Still, he seems to realize that he's made mistakes in the past. He cites ReactGate, the backlash he faced for putting content on stream while stepping away from the camera for extended periods of time. I know it's crazy and I do still do it, but nobody really cares anymore. This is so crazy and so niche to talk about on fucking Gentleman's Quarterly, he says with a chuckle. I did not respond well to that at all. I apologized immediately and said I would never watch the critics video again. But then people kept hammering it over and over again. After a while, I was just like, all right, well, fuck these people. Now he only watches YouTube videos from people he knows. That's incredible because that's not true. As obnoxious, to be real, like, he watches a lot more news now. He wasn't watching as much news back then because, again, Israel-Palestine wasn't in the conflict. Like, it wasn't like what was going on. And so, like, the only reason he's not watching other people's content, which he still is, that as high of a rate is because he is in a different content cycle. So, as obnoxious as his methods can be, Parker clearly has genuine convictions. Remember that? Remember what the web was like back in 2010 when YouTube was overrun with mini Ben Shapiro's and wrecking of blue-haired SWJs? What? Blue-haired SWJ? What the hell is an SWJ? Wait, they got this wrong. They fucked this up. Sir, there's a spelling error in here. Wrecking blue-haired SWJ's compilations. Now there's a cluster of progressive influencers who Parker proudly calls Hasanabi heads. He co-signs Sean DeBlack, Chris Kunzler, Jam, and Overzealots. He's also trying to mentor new established Dem influencers like Dean Withers and Harry Sisson. These two are on the outs, by the way. I told Dean personally, 1, stop with this liberalism shit. Cut it out. Become more leftist. And 2, try to do things that are not just debate focused, he says. They're not listening to me, so who knows? Okay. Just try doxing someone, Dean. I think it'll work. Some would argue that if the Democrats were smart, they'd go all in on leftist populism and subsidize a Parker-led creator boot camp to help beat back Trump 2.0. But Parker has no faith in liberal politicians. He thinks Kamala Harris, who currently leads in many polls about progressive Democratic presidential candidates, has no shot in 2028. He's not even convinced there will be elections in 2028. I mean, it's moving in that direction pretty hard. All it takes is one big event for Donald Trump, who's been salivating at this to be like, it's martial law time. Parker says, first they will take out or erode some of these constitutional protections, whether it be due process, birthright, citizenship, and the First Amendment. Then they'll rebuild the legal system to their advantage in a way that suits their white nativist agenda. Yes, SWJ, Scream with Jews, incredible. As he prepares to start up his stream for the day, Parker says, I wonder what this is doing to my brain. This is a gesture at the many vectors of anguish and evil in his life. The always-on work schedule, the paranoia he feels about his private life being overrun, the doxing and the swatting. The volume of vitriol he receives daily from right-wingers demanding that the government arrest me because I'm a terrorist and that Twitch banned me. Whoa. I wonder to myself if his fitness and diet regimes are attempts to counterbalance the stress he puts on himself. He said in the past that he eats exactly 1.1 pounds of roasted chicken breast with low-carb pita, some kind of other stuff for lunch every day. Still, he thinks the Make America Healthy Again movement is full of fucking charlatans. Medicare for all, TRT for all, Ozempic for all, HRT for all. That's my argument. I wouldn't doubt that Hasan's on. To be honest with you, Hasan has a very natural physique. Like, you can attain this after like 3 years in the gym. I would not doubt that he takes steroids because Hasan has no idea how to work out. Like, I've watched him squat before and it's fucking pathetic. So, like, I wouldn't doubt it. He's also very lazy and entitled. So he's probably taking like fucking, he's probably on some kind of like shit. Because, you know, it's easier because he's lazy as fuck. He probably takes fucking tests, and most of his work in his workout is him just talking to his friends instead of actually being productive at the gym. But Parker can't get lost in the thought for long. Our interview made him late to start streaming, and his viewers are angsty as fuck. Whoa. They said fuck in this article. Parker pops his in and attempts to film an Instagram video to announce the stream. Fuck! He roars after the app shuts off midway. He shoots it again, then launches the stream. What is that? Blitzing through the news. Sydney Sweeney white supremacist ad. Texas Democrats fleeing to avoid arrests. White woman posing Nazi salute on X. A viewer sends him a link that turns out to be a Grindr audio clip. I don't know if I could show this. What this is, Parker mumbles. You are fighting for the people in Gaza who are starving for food, the audio clip begins. But you forgot about me. The need that I have for a cock in my mouth. Parker goes silent for 10 seconds. That'll be it for today. Some things are better left unwatched. Soon I get up to leave. I walk out and Parker is left alone, rambling at 3 screens. Wow, that's the end. Kind of an abrupt ending. How beautiful. Hey, beautiful article. Thank you. All right, guys, let's follow that up with this Internet versus Hasan's GQ article. Let's go, baby. Internet versus.
Recently, Hasan Piker had an article written on him by popular men's lifestyle magazine GQ, where in it they talk about his
The Gay Quiz,
relationship status, the way he conducts himself online, and even his feud with Ethan Klein. This resulted in a bunch of discourse firing up again naturally, and Ethan reviewing everything on stream, and even reading the first
did he watch the whole thing? That's silly.
Full sentences of the article, which go into detail about Hasan's figure. Some of Hasan's orbiters, like Mike from PA, weren't too happy with the article's presentation, caption. And
why were they unhappy with that it didn't call Ethan Klein a horrible person?
Hasan even encouraged his fans not to freak out in response to the release, saying, "Don't act like Asmongold and his fans."
Whoa.
Welcome to the internet versus Hasan's GQ article. It starts, of course, when the article gets dropped, and Hasan also tweets it out, announcing his stream, saying, "My GQ piece is out." And Zach replies, "Dude, you're almost 40 years old and LARPing as a 20-something.
Well, I mean, I would do a GQ article. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do an article? What?
Christina replies, "I might have to frame the bathtub pic and put it on my wall."
Yeah, that's what we call a female gooner.
American Girly says, "It sucks your personality is dog shit and you are a terrible person because you are actually good looking." Yeats then also tweets out a couple pictures from the article and captions it, "Really outdid yourself with this one, Night Media." And he continues his thread, "2025 is socialism." And there's a section from the article that says, "The Klein fight reveals just how insular and incestuous the world of streaming is.
Hell
These
yeah,
beefs
we
and
do be
online
loving
persona
incest.
are the subtraits from which Piker, the streamer in person, springs. He texts with AOC sometimes, sure, but his close friends aren't campaign strategists and professional politicians.
Whoa.
They're the creators he plays basketball with, like Ludwig,
love
Buddha,
it.
and video game speedrunners
Isn't Buddha that like really nice guy? No?
like Point Crow, and the influencers who co-host his podcast, Cutie Cinderella, Will and F, and Austin Show. You could visualize the streaming world as a series of lunch tables or loose clusters of collaborators, like the AMP Collective and the FaZe Clan. This world of influencers is its own Hollywood, with a distinct cast of A-listers and cult faves. Piker recently attended creator Tara Yummy's birthday party at the
Creator Tower Yummy.
Roosevelt Hotel, a weird collision between old and new school celebrity, where FaZe Adapt and Jason the Ween sidled up next to Miranda Sings and Love Island.
I'm surprised that Miranda Sings is so like you know, I guess influential enough or still kind of around. You know, aren't they like a big no, you know?
Contestants. Indie Sleaze documenter Cobra Snake shot the photos. And Bill
Maybe everybody realizes that it was kind of overblown, huh?
Cat replies, "You can tell the person who wrote this has absolutely no idea what they're talking about." Yo said,
Well, I mean, the person obviously is a very horny gooner. We have a lot of gooners everywhere. I saw an interesting thing the other day that was like, oh, you could tell in anime when gooners started to overtake the science nerds, because like they used to have like cool science shit, but now it's like anime is like all gooner shit.
"Why are they gargling his balls on how obsessed with clout he is?" Carlo Main says, "What the fuck did I just read?" Ethan Klein also posts this on his Instagram story, and Yeet tweets it out, where he says, "Have we jumped the shark yet, folks?" And V replies,
Folks.
"Imagine hating someone so much you post about them 15 times every day." Wick TV says, "Yo,
Jesus.
did you see
We got to get our Hasan numbers up, huh?
the GQ article on Hasan where you bolt awake in the mountains of Carthage? You are not online. It is 217 BC. You are the General Hannibal, and you
What the fuck is happening right now?
have changed your mind. The future cannot come to pass. Rome must burn." Yeats then tweets out this clip with the caption, "Ethan Klein reads and reacts to the infamous intro paragraph of Hasan's GQ article."
This is where 34-year-old political influencer keeps his thirsted after body fit. Joined by a few other neighborhood characters, including a guy who works on Pod Save America. What?
You guys think that he constantly plays basketball at the mall, or do you think that he was like, hey, why don't you guys stop by? It could be a lot of fun, you know?
A Pod Save America guy is working out with him in the morning? His Bernese Beefcake Kaya, who, by the way, he just... Now that we know he's a comfortable and frequent liar, let's revisit the Kaya thing. Do you think he got that dog for free from a Facebook post that he's never shown or talked about?
For sure, man.
Or do you think
I hear he loves doing a lot of those things, man. He's a nice guy. He probably adopted that dog.
I think he bought a designer dog and was too much of a coward to tell the truth about
That
it?
sucks. Like it's so funny because I feel like the whole champagne socials thing, like it is hypocritical, especially the way that Hasan lives his life, especially since he can't even stop you know, engaging with shit on the BDS list. But like, it's just like, I don't think the argument doesn't seem to be particularly effective at getting people to like stop engaging with them, you know?
The answer is blowing in the wind. And actually, no, it's right. I mean, you got it. His beautiful designer dog that he got free from Craigslist tussles with a few other golden brown dogs. A Piker burns through his 70-minute workout, exhausting himself in the process. He strips his shirt off, guys. An army of girls and gays, not to mention admiring look-maxers, would kill to be where I am now, next to Piker, as he pants in a pair of neon shorts with black Calvin Klein boxers poking out, and sunlight glistening off the sweat beaded on his chest hairs. Kill me.
What?
I am ready to die.
Why?
That's the intro paragraph?
That's literally the opening of the article.
What is
I guess it's well written, even if what's written is fucking stupid as hell.
wrong with these people?
Mad Mac also posts the picture on the H3H3 production subreddit, captioning it, "This is frying me." And Cud says, "How do we get Ethan to recreate this?" And Spencer replies, "Oh my god, Ethan is going to flip his shit when he sees this, but in a good way." And Mary Hasan says, "For real, he needs to do this. It would be absolutely hilarious if he went all out too. Proper lighting, photographer, etc., and recreated all of these cringe."
You like my rendition better? Thank you, I appreciate that. I feel like I did a pretty good job with my rendition of this thing. No? I feel like it's pretty
promo
well.
shots. Please, Ethan, I know you're pretty enough for this. 111 Gemini says, "Thirst trapping politics is literally so dystopian." And
It's so gay.
Cat to Our Life replies, "And super cringy, don't forget that." And Gemini says, "I could never forget that. Reading that headline while his nipple is looking me right in the eyes." It Must Be Love replies, quoting the words next to Hasan in the bathtub where it says, "America might be cooked," and captions it, "How to be annoying, infuriatingly vague, and how do you do, fellow kids," in one simple puff piece title as a mid-30s influencer. And Interchain replies, "I love how the quote doesn't relate to the photo at all. If anything, it makes it seem that America's cooked because of this fake-ass socialist who spends all day hoarding wealth, spreading extremism to his audience, and influencing leftists to skip voting." And Hyperfixmom replies, "I just commented
Well, it
about
seems
this.
like he doesn't really want them to vote.
The copy and image don't align." Tectone also tweets out the picture with the caption, "This man is gay as fuck." And Plainmark replies to
it's so funny.
this photo saying, "I mog him." Toby Turner replies with this screenshot of a New York Times article from April 27th, 2025, where the article title was "Hasan Piker, a progressive mind in a MAGA body." And Toby says, "A progressive mind in a MAGA bathtub." Legal Mindset replies to Tectone by saying, "Did Hasan forget to pay you child support this month? We can garnish his wages." Chibi Reviews replies to Tectone by saying,
I'm not a huge fan of that guy. That legal mindset guy, like always, he just irks. There's something about him that seems very strange.
"Why are you cursing my timeline with this?" Whitest Kid You Know quote tweets Tectone and says, "Aren't you the one posting about the naked man in the bathtub? What, you want to R him?" Yeats then tweets out,
Okay, it's a little funny.
Hasan touched on the Ethan Klein saga in his GQ article. Talks about Ethan's psycho-eswal obsession and how he used to be more empathetic when he was fat. Attaching this section that says, "The spat spiraled into online mayhem, sucking everyone in these creators' orbits into a vortex of toxicity. Klein, quote, will call you a token Jew after this interview comes out," end quote. Piker warns me, quote, "I did pay you $7 million to do this interview," end quote. Some have accused Klein of having a psychosexual obsession with Piker. He
Who actually accused? I'm pretty sure it's just his orbiters that say weird shit like that.
talks about my body and the way I look a lot, Piker says. "I don't know why. Maybe it's a low-hanging fruit for him. He was always a funny guy. He was never a big looker or anything. It wasn't part of his brand. So I never thought he cared about that sort of thing. But maybe after he lost the weight, his personality changed a bit."
Yeah, once homies be getting handsome, they start acting different. Am I right, guys?
Genuinely don't know. Last time I talked to Ethan, he was fat. I mean, he still had his issues, but at least he was seemingly more empathetic. Over on H3H3 Productions, Allison
Yeah, he was fat. That was his issue. But at least he was nicer to me.
Slumberman also posts this section with the title, "Ethan mentioned in the new GQ article with Hasan. He claims Ethan is obsessed with his looks. This is the same person who perpetuates the narratives of Ethan looking inbred, on drugs, crashing out, etc. Even in this, he says the last time we talked, Ethan was fat. Make it make sense."
Damn.
And Crazy Kidding Me replies, "If I ever have to read one more puff piece about how Hasan is the most attractive person who ever lived, I'm going..."
Well, I mean, you're probably going to have to, because like all this, really, realistically speaking, like all this backlash and all like whatever, this is probably the desired, this is probably kind of like the desired outcome from these articles. They're getting people to watch and engage. That's what they're looking for more than anything else.
To crash out. "It is so narcissistic and obnoxious." And Short Stuff Sluff replies, "The photos used in this article take the cake. I need a hazmat suit for the amount of cringe and narcissism this article emanates. The person with a psychosexual obsession for Hasan is Hasan." An international act replies, "I just got the ick." Ilipari says, "Some have accused," and then goes right into a quote of Hasan specifically accusing him. They know that if they said Hasan has accused Ethan of being obsessed with his looks, it would look fucking weird for Hasan, so they specifically don't.
I mean, I guess that could be it. I was more focused on like the whole thing where the article wouldn't co-sign that it was a genocide. I'm not like it's obviously horrible, but it's just kind of funny because they like know that they can't even say that. You think Hasan? I think Hasan was pissed off about how they felt like it was too nice for Ethan Klein. Like the article was too like charitable to Ethan.
Embarrassing journalism. Intolerant drama retiree replies, many people are saying it. Smart people, beautiful people. Strange Speed says, what does Hasan mean by the last time I spoke to Ethan he was fat? They had a debate like 3 months ago and Ethan had already lost weight by then.
That's actually true.
And Will says, the debate was a hallucination. And Baby Horses replies, he doesn't want to draw attention to it so people don't watch and learn he's a misogynistic, anti-Semitic shitheel. Over on Leftovers Age 3, they also...
I think this Champagne Socialist thing fits Hasan so much better because he pushes people around. Well, here's my thing. I feel like because I'm like for progressive policies, like I want some kind of Medicare for all, it'd be great, like even a UBI. But I think the Champagne Socialist thing is like it communicates a lot of these young people that they could still have a perfect, like really rich life, even if they voted like, in a more radical ways that Hasan might want them to vote. In his indication, which is not true. But it's like, it makes them go like, oh, I could be that. If I vote for this, I could be that.
It's actually the same section of the article, and this time say, Ethan's psycho-escal obsession with Hasan mentioned in the GQ magazine. Inzerac Maximus replies, quoting the part saying, last time I talked to Ethan, he was fat, and laughs. Fucka69420 says, oh, he won't like that. 90-minute cough section incoming featuring Adolf Hilda telling everyone how ugly Hasan is.
I don't, Hilda, I'm assuming that's Ela. The coughing thing is always so funny to me, though.
And Cuckoo's Clown says, she used to comment about his weight all the time. Does she acknowledge it or comment on his looks at all now that he's skinny like she wanted? Sorry, you're mad says,
dude, it's like fucking 15 scenes in this game.
Ethan's mentions in mainstream media are so rough. Being inappropriate to children in the New York Times, escally harassing Hasan in GQ. Too bad instead of reflecting on how people see him outside of his dwindling fan base.
He's sexually harassed? What the fuck are they talking about with that one? What the hell?
He will quadruple down on being a fucking freak. An OK Measurement replies, some young women is about to feel the full force of Ethan's SWL feelings towards Hasan.
What the fuck? These people are unhinged like demons. What the fuck? These people are actually like fucking concerning with the way that they interpret information. It's fucking wild.
No Links replies with this screenshot of a comment saying, he was never a big looker. Excuse me? Where do you think this majority female audience came from? We have the whole internet to look at and to listen to. I think a lot of us enjoyed looking at Ethan as well as listening to him. This just reminds me so much.
I don't think anybody's attracted to Ethan and Ethan's audience. I mean, he's not a bad looking guy. I think it's more like, I think he's just like his wife is involved, and when your wife is involved in your content, and you act a little more femininely, I got the cough. I think it kind of makes you, makes girls go, wowee, I can engage, I guess, or whatever. I could be cool with this guy.
Of how men get all big and muscular for other men and the male gaze and don't understand the female gaze at all and what we actually like. Ethan at any size is easier on the eye than most. Cheeky twinkle in his eye, nice hairline, a genuine smile. Hasan's
damn, the hairline, dude. I'm feeling a little targeted right now, dude. That's kind of fucked up. I thought ladies liked it when you're a little bald.
Saying Ethan was never a big looker is wild. Says who, please? And No Link says, I'm screaming. And Don't Dox Me, please reply,
I'm creaming.
Female gaze is when a man who can't stop throatily coughing between each sentence and picking his earwax while wiping his snot and hardened boogers with the same tissue he uses to wipe his eyes.
See, this is more fun because it's just silly. It's just like, Ethan Klein coughs a lot and he's got boogers on his nose. It's not like, hey, let's call the fucking CPS on him and just traumatize his kids,
mouth, and calls any woman, specifically non-white women.
Dude, I don't watch for Zach. I watch for Ethan Klein, and it gets hard recently to watch this show, though. It's just so tough watching the Ethan's show because Olivia's so fucking woke. It's like so annoying, You guys know what I mean.
And a childless bitch. Yeats then tweets out this clip with the caption, Ethan throws it back with a Taylor Lorenz clip after she accused him of being psycho-escally obsessed with Hasan.
Psychosexual obsession with Hasan is weird as hell. She's responding to me being like, he's not going to sleep with you or something.
Well, yeah, she is obsessed with Hasan. She wants his peenie.
Which you could call maybe you could call that chauvinistic. The joke's about you. But it's not that I want to have sex with him. But anyway, watch this and then tell me I'm wrong.
Unreasonably good looking and cool and dresses cool.
Tell me about it.
But you know what I mean? Hasan would be an influencer no matter what he was saying because he is very attractive and very cool.
I love him.
And genuinely a good person.
I want him to fuck me in my ass so hard.
I will say, Hasan is actually a cool, fun, good person.
Do you need a mop?
Fun.
Unreasonably
That's
good
funny.
Like
what the fuck?
Unreasonably good looking and
guys, take this in.
with Hasan.
This is important. This is what these people...
I'm trying, dude. You're taking it in like there's a fucking fire going on. What the hell's happening?
...people do. She says, okay. I have a psychosexual obsession with Hasan. Taylor Lorenz said that about me.
And he follows up this tweet with another clip saying, Hasan thinks Ethan was written about too favorably in his GQ article.
Probably. The feud started over Gaza. Both call it a genocide, but Klein has called Piker a terrorist sympathizer, and Piker in turn has called Klein racist. This is the most favorable interpretation of Ethan Klein.
What? Raymond Sis.
Klein's behavior,
that was one of my best friends back in the day.
Who has both called it a genocide and not called it a genocide, uncalled it a genocide, and spends every waking moment attacking those who have called it a genocide with
attacking all those people. Jesus Christ.
Regular frequency, calling them fucking racist.
Jesus.
Last time I talked to Ethan, he was fat. I mean, he still had his issues, but at least he was seemingly more empathetic. Now,
seemingly more empathetic?
This comes across like I'm fat shaming him. But I was actually...
You know, Hasan fat shamed me one time. There's a video about it on my Papa Gut Archives channel, but so sad.
Sectioning off like Ethan as a separate entity than current Ethan, if you know what I mean.
Current Ethan versus fat
Ethan. I wasn't like...
Freak off.
Intentionally, I wasn't like trying to fat shame him. I was just saying like that was in my mind, that is a different person.
Yeah, right. That makes perfect sense. Everybody believes that. Thank you.
Because
I don't think your audience cares about fat shaming Hasan, so I don't know why the fuck you're pretending.
Of who he has become. Some people...
Did you hear what he said? He said Houthis? What the fuck?
People say he was always that guy. I certainly was deluded and I was blind.
Yeah, I was blind from jerking off too much.
Also, I didn't bring this up. Whoa. He did, for the record.
Crazy. Let's kiss, Hasan.
Like the journalist did. I would not have brought up Ethan Klein on this profile.
I wouldn't definitely. I definitely. So I don't believe that at all. Because if he didn't want to bring up Ethan Klein, he wouldn't have talked about Ethan Klein. And the reason is because he didn't talk about Destiny. So, I mean, you really think that they wouldn't have talked about Destiny on there? I mean, maybe they wouldn't. Maybe he's not mainstream enough to talk about. I don't know. But whatever.
If it were up to me.
Ultra-Lib replies, Hasan is so malicious, he wants the most bad faith interpretation of Ethan's arguments plastered everywhere. It's disgusting. How can people not see that this guy is not a serious political figure? He just holds grudges on a consistent basis. And Mario Master said,
I mean, Trump's our president, so kind of done away with the whole serious political figure thing. It's kind of dead and gone at this point, boy. You know what I'm saying?
As when people said Pirate Software had an ego, which he does, Hasan has an even bigger ego.
Whoa,
Javi tweets out this clip with the caption,
serious?
Hasan addresses that paragraph and the GQ article edited for brevity. It's a long rant, so please watch the VOD for his full opinion on it.
During our interview, I try to squeeze out whatever intel I can find about Piker's romantic life, which is feverishly gossiped about on Reddit. I asked point blank if he's dating Valkyrie, the massively popular gaming streamer, and he looks freaked out. Oh, come on. Please don't put that in the article, Piker says.
Please don't. Come on. Please don't put that in the article, dude. Don't put that in the freaking article, bro.
For obvious reasons, there is a lot of speculation on all of the female peers that I have in this space.
Well, dude, listen. He's not worried about like the girls knowing like who he's. He's not worried about like people knowing who he's dating because he's like worried about protecting them or anything. Just to be clear, he wants to capitalize on that audience that thinks he might be single. He's just fucking simping. He's doing like he's just simping, or he's like fucking baiting the simps, like whether they're women or men. He's just baiting for simp shit. It's all he does the whole time. What are we talking about here?
That I regularly have on stream that people who have incredibly parasocial bonds with content creators routinely speculate on whether I'm romantically involved with them or not. Obviously, I don't want any sort of hate going their way. I don't want the psychopathic haters to fucking go after these people, which is precisely...
Nobody thinks this at all. If psychopathic haters went after anybody, they would go after the people he's... Like, nobody goes after any of the people. What are we talking about here? It's all fantasy. I'm going to die here. Fuck.
Why I will always spike when asked questions like this and say, I keep my private life private. It's you know, there's a reason for it. Like I don't entertain this stuff at all, and the reason is obvious because people are incredibly fucking vicious. Oh, come on, please don't put that in an article, Piker says. I just want to keep certain things private.
Come on, dude, just want to keep certain things private, dude. What the frick? You're violating my boundaries. Okay, the only people you're allowed to do that is Jewish women on October 7th, because I'm going to deny that those assaults happened because I'm a good guy.
But I don't even want to fuel speculations. Think of me as an asexual being. Whoa. He plans on settling down eventually. I mean, I literally told him. I told him straight up before the interview as well. I don't talk about my private life. If you ask me like even names or anything directly, I'm not going to answer it. The reason why I will never confirm nor deny or just never confirm anything about my private life is because there are a lot of fucking active psychopaths who literally go after every person that's on the stream, but especially women. There's fucking stalkers out there, you know, and they
wouldn't that be your own fans though?
What? Do the same shit as I described here to all of the other people that are involved with me. Okay.
Yeet also posted this section of the article that says, Hasan reveals he's been trying to mentor Dean Withers and Harry Sisson, told them to do less debates and become more leftist. And the article says, he's also trying to mentor new establishment dim influencers like Dean Withers and Harry Sisson. I told Dean personally, 1, stop with this liberalism shit. Cut it out.
That's what I've been saying.
Leftist.
I was like, Dean, would you stop with this liberalism? Could you start doxing people? Stop this liberalism shit. Start doxing people, please, for the love of God. Please start doxing people. It's just liberal.
2, try to do things that are not just debate focused. He says, they're not listening to me, so who knows? And Donut Operator replied,
he talked to them like once on a stream like 5 months ago, and he's fucking holding on to it like he has this massive influence over them.
Yes, mentoring 2 little twinks.
Whoa.
Obi Kawami says, he's not wrong about Dean though. I stopped watching his content because it was all just debate content, and it got tiring watching Trump supporters getting owned for the same things. He needs more variety. Educational and informative content would be a great way to diversify it. Howling Mutant replies, dude, have you like considered having an uncle with like a media empire? Tectone replies, I think you meant grooming. Hasan's advice.
Okay. God, whatever.
Have you tried having someone in your family hand you your entire career? And think before you sleep. Quote tweets Yeet and says, bro might be more evil than Hasan by the time he's 30. Yeet then tweets out this clip with the caption, Hasan rejects Chatter's notion that GQ did him dirty, but says it would have been nice if the article included his choice books list.
Bro,
his choice books list? What the fuck?
Did you fucking dirty?
No, actually, they didn't.
I wish that the GQ piece was actually had like my books, my choice books on here, because like there's
like Bleach, dude. Didn't they have some books in there? I could have swore that they did, but maybe I'm fucking stupid.
Editorial, there is editorial control on stuff like that. Rage Bait Final Boss, Hasan Piker and Zoran Mamdani. Big Z is the man. He's great. He's going to implement woke Sharia in New York. Very excited about that. All the buildings have to face Mecca. That kind of good stuff.
Ooh, got him.
Bro, the interview part of the article is fucking weird. I think a lot of you guys
are stupid.
A lot of you guys are not familiar with journalists and how journalists behave. Damn. And that's the reason why you guys are freaking out over the interview. Because most of the time, when I actually say yes to any kind of profile, I usually only work with journalists that I know ahead of time. And this was one of the instances where I just...
Well, what are you talking about? Well, what? Let's not pretend that this guy would ever turn down a fucking... Like he would ever turn down a fucking interview, like a fucking fluff piece on him.
Just didn't even do my due diligence at all. But he was a regular ass journalist. And that is how regular ass journalists do pieces like this.
Whoa, that's crazy.
All I'm saying is it's not going to be the way you expect it to. That's it.
And Atuka replies, Hasan's top 10 books. 1. Destiny. 2. Destiny. 3. Destiny. 4. Asmongold Stole My Crown. 5. How to Take Shots at Asmongold for Dummies. 6. Tectone's Dad. 7. Tectone's Dad. 8. I'm Not Obsessed, Everyone Else Is. 9. You Can Heal Your Life. 10. Bro Tips. Yeet also posts this clip with the caption, Hasan explains the motivation behind his PR campaign.
In my opinion, the GQ article bookends really well with the NPR piece from the other day. They're both something you can point to normie libs if they have questions.
Bro, you know what sucks is that I made the like I talked to Caleb and he's like, yeah, you know what, put everything on one channel. They're really trying to make everything a hub, but this, that, and that. I was like, okay, cool. And it sucks because the last 2 weeks have been such great like content that I wouldn't necessarily consider main channel content before then. So I put it on leftovers and it was so good. And it's just like, damn, I wish I did it like 3 weeks earlier. You know what I mean? I wish I did it 3 weeks or 2 weeks earlier and just started posting on here. So I'm like, man, I feel fucking stupid, you know? That's the only thing I wish. Because I mean, there have been so many good segments on that second channel, like the NPR Hasan thing, and there was like some Mudahar stuff and like other Ethan stuff that I put on there. It kind of sucks,
Questions about Hasan, the terrorist supporting guy? Exactly.
That would have made it such. I would have made a lot more money.
Exactly, precisely. That is the whole point. A lot of these articles are just like terrorism insurance. Remember that. Okay, this is something you show your parents. This is something you show like fucking insane haters and whatnot.
And even replies, does his PR campaign include posing naked in the bathtub? Because
mine would.
It doesn't look good, and I can't get that image out of my head. No? Wayne says, he's admitting to doing this to try to deceive others that he isn't a radical leftist, even though he also admitted to hiding his views from others. What the fuck is he smoking? Armand also quote tweets a post GQ made about the article and said, honestly, it's pretty gross that a guy who said the US deserved 9/11 routinely gets glowing press coverage because he's hot, I guess. And Taylor Lorenz replies, he said,
my pussy is wet! That's what she actually said, guys. Oh, I fucked up.
Said correctly that 9/11 was a direct result of U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East.
That's not what he said. He was just trying to be provocative on the internet. We have to stop pretending that there was any nuance that was meant to be there, because there was never, and that's whatever. It's fine. He was being provocative for fun. He thought it was funny. He was being funny, or he thought he was being funny. That's why, dude, are you fucking with my mom's ass? That's why he says like, that's why he does like provocative shit nowadays. Like you see this motherfucking guy. What does Hasan do right now? Like, what is his big thing to do right now? It's to fuck. What is the last thing he did? He fucking pulled a fake gun out. He pulled out a fake fucking gun, and he like waved it around on the stream because he thought it was silly and he thought it was funny and he wanted to get some views off of it. Blah 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 blah. Oh, I see now. That's what he was doing. It's all for rage bait. What the fuck?
This is just an objective.
So was that comment. He never stopped with the strategy.
Objectively corrective fact that no serious person should dispute, especially given what we know now about that era. And Armand replies, bullshit. He said, literally, America deserved 9/11. That is not a fact. That is a moral judgment of the 3,000 plus people who were murdered that day. Crazy. And Taylor says, it's not bullshit. Watch back the clip and use listening comprehension. You want to talk about innocent people?
Dude, this fucking woman, Taylor Lorenz's pussy is so wet for Hasan. Which is honestly impressive because usually by that age, your pussy's dry as fuck. But she's fucking dripping for Hasan. It's actually crazy, dude. Holy moly.
Being murdered, then you have to look at both sides. The more you know about what the U.S. has done in the Middle East, the more you understand why many believe the U.S. deserved 9/11. If you refuse to acknowledge the asymmetry in deaths between the innocent...
Me when I know nobody who was murdered during 9/11?
...and people killed in the U.S. on 9/11 versus the innocent people...
Never forget the spaghetti. That's what Garfield taught me, by the way.
U.S. is slaughtered in the Middle East for decades, then you're just not a serious person. Even families of people killed in 9/11 acknowledge this reality.
Oh, yeah. All those families are like, you know what? My fucking dad, he is dead. These guys literally murdered my father, but I kind of get it. I do be getting it. My dad do be kind of a mean asshole, which is maybe true. I mean, there might be some families that are like, yeah, my dad died in 9/11, but I still understand why it happened. Mostly because they hate their dad. Because most, I don't know if you guys know this, most police officers and firefighters are abusive to their kids. This is a statistical fact that I made up. And so it's probably one of those things where they're like, yeah, you know what? Thank God the cycle of abuse ends. Am I right? Am I right, guys? Also, you know, I'm just ribbing a little bit. I'm ribbing a little bit, but I will tell you, a lot of police officers do be kind of fucking assholes. I will say. They do be kind of dickheads. Let's be fucking real, dude.
And Armand replies, the difference is, I would never say the people of Iraq deserved the Iraq war. Ooh. And Taylor replies, Hasan never said anything about the people of Iraq, nor did he say anything about the people of America. Iraq is also not an imperialist global superpower, nor was Iraq tied to 9/11.
They wish they were, dude. Fucking pussies. Fucking pussies. This is so boring, this game.
And she attaches another tweet she made where she says, acting like a single act of terrorism on U.S. soil is uniquely worse than the decades of terrorism the U.S. has inflicted on people abroad is exactly the type of
I do be loving abroads.
U.S. exceptionalism and dehumanization of others that foments people's justified hate for America around the world. You cut off the second part of Hasan's sentence, which was, we brought that shit on ourselves, which is objectively true. 9/11 happened as a result of decades of atrocities committed by the U.S. abroad. You removed that key context, which is crucial to the comments.
Could you imagine being like, could you imagine your job is to write articles for magazines or whatever you do on the internet and you're arguing with randoms in the chat for 20,000 views. Like, that's fucking crazy. It's a simp for some dude.
Intermon replies, the context does not make the sentence any more moral than if I said Iraq deserved the Iraq war. They brought that shit on themselves.
Whoa.
Instead of the invasion of Kuwait and Saddam's war crimes. It's also just ignorance of AQ's actual stated grievances, which encompassed foreign policy issues, but also hatred of homosexuality, women's rights, etc. Ethan Klein also then responded to this on his Instagram story saying, 9/11 but in Roblox. Yeats tweets out this clip with the caption, Ethan reveals that Knight Media allegedly asked him to join their agency. He said he wouldn't do it unless they got rid of terrorist sympathizer Hasan.
Whoa.
It's Knight. It's Knight.
Is that they do his PR? I don't know if they do PR though.
I don't know if they do PR.
They say in this article that
they
he
do?
has
NPR?
one. His management team consists of one person that they mention by name.
Yeah,
I've studied abroad or two. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But that person is like the senior vice president of Knight Media.
Yeah, so Knight might not be doing PR.
Like, the one person management team is Knight Media.
Okay.
They tried to recruit me, and I said, I mean, listen.
They're the big boys now, like big time.
The fuck is Knight Media?
Well, I told him if they're representing terrorist sympathizers,
Hasan Parker,
then I'm not interested in partnering with them.
Did you actually say that, or is it just your retelling of it?
I said, you want me to join? Get rid of Hasan. The truth is, they should not be working with him. He is a disgusting, fucking toxic force, and like nobody should be working with him. That's the crazy thing. But
well, you did work with him for quite a while, so
anyway.
Mike from PA also ended up reacting to the article when Feeling Text posted this clip on the H3H3 production subreddit. Mike from PA and Hasan have slightly different opinions of the GQ article.
Okay, I'm just going to call this out as this interviewer is an asshole. Right off the rip, this is unethical. I don't like this journalist already. I will remember this name. I'm not...
For what? What are you going to do, dox him?
Not saying it's a hit piece, but it's unfriendly. I'm not going to call it a hit piece yet, but I would say that this is extremely unfriendly and uncharitable. One expletive and brain rot filled live stream at a time. Wow, man. Really, thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. What a description of the live streams.
Makes sense. Okay. Why are you getting so butthurt about it? This is what it's just funny because like I don't know if Hasan got upset about it, but he shouldn't. He shouldn't be, because like that's kind of what it is. And so like if you don't embrace what it is, people are gonna think you're a fucking fool. But like you're sitting here, like Mike from PA wants to think that his job is important. You fucking sit your fat ass on a fucking computer and play, like, just look at shit all day. Same here, but I don't think that it's anything fucking profound. You know, we're chilling. We're literally watching a video while we're fucking playing Kingdom Hearts. So this is pretty bad. It's pretty piss. There's a lot of piss on my balls, you know.
I'm now ready to move.
Where the fuck do I go?
I'm provisionally saying that this person is an unethical piece of shit.
That's crazy.
The vibes are off in this article. Really,
the vibes do be off, baby.
I hate this reporter. This reporter is a scumbag. Yo, I'm so pissed off right now.
Crazy.
Holy shit, what an asshole, dude.
That's
I
crazy.
want you guys to understand something about journalists, is they're not good people. The vast majority of journalists are actually scum.
Oh, I see it.
Soon I get up to leave. I walk out and Piker is left alone, rambling at
Doesn't Hasan consider himself a journalist?
screens. Rambling. Well, okay, I gotta say...
Hasan, please. Hasan, do you hear me? I'm actually protecting you from the person who wrote this article. Please host me on my stream like you did for the other guy. Please, Hasan. Please, why didn't you invite me for the iDubbbz video, Hasan? Hasan, what the fuck, dude? I've been your most loyal SOB supporter. What the fuck?
I think that article was kind of dog shit, if I'm being honest.
I'm gonna be honest.
I think that was...
Hasan, do you like me now?
bad.
Damn. Can't
Then
believe
he
that
tweets out this clip.
I can't believe this guy said the article's bad. How are they going to recover from that?
With the caption, Hasan goes back and forth with chat over whether or not his GQ puff piece made him look bad. Piker asks them not to act like Asmongold and his fans.
It's not that I think it hurt your feelings, but definitely does not paint a positive view to the general public as someone who should be listened to about politics. You're wrong about that. People don't like that the article suffer of terminal that friend as too woke syndrome.
I don't really think it was like negative for him, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think that it was like a negative piece. I don't think that anybody's gonna look at that and be like, "Oh, what a bad example." Like, that piece was good. Like, it was attracting. to young people. That's what he was looking for, to get like more young people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Internet Versus has got to get his fucking audio on par. Like his audio is louder than everything he shows.
Only this community will see their favorite streamer get a major magazine article and go, actually, no, this sucks. You shouldn't like this and be happy. I know.
I know, guys. I'm a victim of even my own stream. It's fucking crazy.
But they're wrong. And I think that there's no reason to even go back and forth on whether or not this is negative framing, especially considering that my fucking idiotic, drama-laden haters are probably going to do that over and over again. And the same dumb fucks in this chat that were like, oh, well, I told you this was bad, will then relitigate those fucking idiotic, cynical criticisms because they're fucking jealous. Let's be real. And they will bring that back over here to be like, see, I told you. See, Asmongold said this article sucks. Well, Asmongold doesn't know how to.
Yeah, the article was a complete glaze. Yeah.
Fucking read. Why do you care about what his perspective is? You know.
True.
There's already plenty of fucking relatively sizable communities that literally make it a pivotal part of their content to just like consistently undermine every single thing that I do. I am an experienced media personality. I have an understanding of how these things work.
He's an experienced media personality, guys. Hasan Porker, experienced media guy.
This is literally my professional job, and I'm telling you.
It's just as opposed to his unprofessional job. Professional meaning that you get paid.
My assessment of this is that this is a very good, very humanizing piece, especially considering that it shows the full scope, okay? It shows that I'm...
Of what? What does it show the full scope of?
Brash. It shows that
brash.
I can be edgy.
Brash taste in music? Is that what he said?
But it also does not hide that I am a progressive figure who is genuine.
When the fuck does they ever try to hide that?
Who believes
fuck my balls.
in the things that I speak out on.
What the hell?
Hard-headed and stubborn.
And Tectone replies, it doesn't make him look bad, makes him look gay as fuck.
Oh, dude, that guy's cool.
To our tier 3 members, internet representatives Kiko, Sal Salad, Cultist Bandito, Captain Crash Out, and 19 kilometers. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next episode.
Shout out to 19 kilometers. All right, cool stuff.